Good afternoon. This is the current affairs session for July 29. Let us have a look at the important articles. So the very first article, it's from the GS3 perspective environment section. So the article says that ethanol, which is used in blending in petrol, it is now more from maize in comparison to sugar. Okay, so basically, what's the ongoing story? So it has been mentioned that cereal grains have overtaken sugarcane as the primary feedstock for the production of ethanol, which is used in blending with petrol. Now, we all are aware that there is an ethanol blending program, and Modi government has set the target for ethanol blending, that is 20% is the target in petrol by 2025. Okay, so by 2025, 20% ethanol has to be blended with petrol as a fuel. Okay, now in the production of ethanol, historically, or you can look at the previous years, sugarcane was the primary raw material, or you can say sugarcane was the primary feedstock. Ethanol can be produced by using food grains also, cereal grains also. But for these many years, it was primarily produced from sugarcane. But now this is for the very first time that we are using more and more cereal grains for the production of ethanol. Okay, so you can see over here in the key takeaways, the very first point mentions that this is for the first time that the contribution of grains to India's ethanol production has surpassed 50%. Earlier, the contribution of grains to the ethanol production was 27.1 in 2022-2023, then 16.7. So it was less. But now, for the very first time, more than 50% ethanol is derived from the cereal grains, and especially maize is being used. So that is highlighted over here. Okay. Now, when we talk about ethanol, now what is ethanol? Ethanol is basically 99.9% pure alcohol. And this ethanol, so when I talk about ethanol, which is blended in petrol, it is 99.9% pure alcohol. And this is used to blend with the petrol. Okay, so it is blended with petrol. And please remember the target 20% blending by 2025. Okay, now alcohol which we use to make the liquor, that is consumable liquor, that is 96% one. Okay, so the 96%, this is called as extra neutral alcohol. This is used basically for liquor. And if alcohol is very pure, 99.9%, then that is called as ethanol. If it is 96%, it is the one which is used in the making of liquor. And there is one more, that is 94%. 94% one, it's basically used for spirits, then in cosmetics, in industrial products, in paints. Okay, so that is the use. Now, when we talk about how is this ethanol produced, okay, so basically fermentation processes there. Okay, so alcohol production or the ethanol production, it requires a fermentation of sugar with yeast. So basically from the sugar, so traditionally what was being done, from the sugarcane juice you get sugar, and that is sucrose. So this is fermented with yeast. Okay, with the yeast it is being fermented, and then the sucrose gets broken down into glucose and fructose, and then it undergoes the process of distillation, dehydration, and finally you get ethanol. Okay, so this was a traditional process which was used. Now we are using food grains. So what is the first step? If you're using food grains, so basically food grains contains what? They contain starch. That is a form of carbohydrate. So this starch is converted into sugar. That is sucrose. And then the process is same. Sucrose is fermented with yeast, and then it gets converted into glucose and fructose. And then the process is distillation, dehydration, and then it is converted into ethanol. So if you are using sugarcane, then directly the sugarcane juice, that is sucrose, is extracted from it and it is fermented with yeast. But if you are using cereals, so you get a starch. So first you need to convert starch into sugar, and then the fermentation process begins. Okay, all these things are mentioned in this article, so we are discussing these things because UPSC directly asks questions from such articles. So I'm mentioning all these things over here. So this is all about this article. Let's come to the next one. Char Dham Pass. After a red flag by Supreme Court panel, government cites landslide site for forest node. Okay. So basically, the Char Dham project, it's a very big highway project which connects the four important Char Dhams of India. Supreme Court gave it a conditional clearance in 2021. Okay. And now the construction of Netala bypass road, it's being ongoing. Okay. So earlier, Supreme Court had rejected this particular Netala bypass project, but then now uh, Ministry of Defense, under which there is an organization BRO, Border Road Organization. It's an organization under the Ministry of Defense, and this BRO is responsible for constructing roads in border areas. So now BRO has got clearance for this Netala bypass road. Netala bypass road, it's on the Uttarkashi Gangotri route under the Chardham project, and they have got the forest clearance from the Environment Ministry, and now they are going to begin with the construction. Okay, so this bypass, it is proposed bypass between Hina and Tekla in the Uttarkashi district. It's in the state of Uttarakhand. Earlier, it was rejected by Supreme Court on the reasons of environmental and ecological damage and social impact. But now the BRO, it has received the clearance from the Environmental Ministry, and it will be proceeding ahead with the construction of this bypass road. Okay. Now, when I talk about the Chardham project, it's a very important project, 900-kilometer Chardham project. It is basically to improve highways connecting the four pilgrimage centers, Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, and Badrinath. Okay, this project, it is said that it lies in Bhagirathi eco-sensitive zone, which is a big eco-sensitive zone between Gangotri and Uttarkashi town. As a result, there were many concerns about this project, but ultimately Supreme Court has given a green signal ki yes, you can go ahead with this Char Dham project. Okay, so this is the rough plan of the project. It's a big highway project to connect the Char Dhams, Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, and Badrinath. The next important article, it's from the polity perspective, right to be forgotten. Okay, so last week Supreme Court agreed to hear a case whose outcome will likely shape the contours of right to be forgotten, known in European information privacy regulation as right to erasure in India. The top court now has to decide whether the right to be forgotten is a fundamental right, and if so, how it is related to the other fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution of India. Okay, so basically Supreme Court has agreed that it will hear a case, and this case, it's a previous case. If this case is being heard by the Supreme Court, this will have an important discussion on this right to be forgotten. Now, right to be forgotten, it is not recognized in India as of now, but yes, it is recognized in EU, in European countries. Okay, in India, we call this right as right to erasure. Erasure, it's basically to erase something, delete something. So now, if Supreme Court will hear this particular case, definitely it is likely that the Supreme Court will give its judgment ki whether right to be forgotten is a fundamental right or not. So this will come to know once the judgment of the Supreme Court is out. Okay, now let us understand what are the key takeaways and what is this right to be forgotten. So a three-judge bench headed by Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, will hear a challenge against a Madras High Court ruling on February 27, directed legal search portal India Qanun to take down judgment in 2014 rape and cheating case. Okay, so basically Madras High Court, they have ordered India Qanun. So you must be aware that India Qanun, it is a website which mentions about all the important judgments of India. So Madras High Court has ordered this India Qanun website that you delete the judgment of 2014 rape case and cheating case. Okay. Now, why? So it is being said that possibly a person who do not want to be in live, if you're putting the judgment, your details are present on the website, okay? And if that girl has survived, the rape survivor has survived, then why we should talk about that judgment? Why we should make her remember about all that bad things that happened to her? So it's better you should did now the justice has been served, the judgment has been delivered. Then why to maintain that record? Let us delete it and let the girl live her life independently without carrying the past baggage. So that is the basic intent. So this is called as right to be forgotten. Right to be forgotten means what? You are trying to delete all your past digital footprints. Okay. So right to be forgotten can be loosely described as right to remove one's digital footprint from the internal searches, okay, where it violates the right to privacy. So basically, you want to delete all your past record. You do not want it to harm your future and your present. And as a result, you want it to erase it. That is called as right to be forgotten. Okay. In May 2014, Luxembourg-based Court of Justice of European Union, the highest court in EU law, interpreted that in European Union, there exists right to be forgotten. So right to be forgotten, it is mainly a concept of Europe. It is not yet defined in India. So in the upcoming judgment of the Supreme Court, will come to know whether this right to be forgotten is valid in India as a fundamental right or not. Okay. So if you talk about European Union, this is called as right to be forgotten. It's basically said to be informational self-determination. That is basically an individual should have a control over the information about himself or herself. Okay, like for I'm the individual, so I should have the control कि internet पे मेरे बारे में what should be there and what should not be there. If I feel that this particular content is harming me, my image, then I should have full control about that information and I should have the right to delete that information. So that is being mentioned over here. Okay. So Article 17 of European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, describes right to erasure. Okay, so from victims of so-called revenge porn to individuals whose personal cases are on independent, right to be forgotten is a crucial remedy. So it is a defined law, it is a defined right in European Union. So if there is a question in UPSC prelims, the right to be forgotten, it is present, it's a legal right in which country, in which area. So you should be aware that it's a legal gesture in European Union. As of now in India, we do not have any backing. We do not have any statutory backing for right to be forgotten. Okay, it's not there. However, you know that our constitution, it's a living document. Supreme Court has a right to updated. So as we all know that in 2017, right to privacy was declared to be a fundamental right by the Supreme Court under the ambit of Article number 21. So you can expect that you never know in future Supreme Court can even declare right to be forgotten as an important fundamental right. Okay. So we have to wait and watch for the further updates on this particular article. I hope right to be forgotten is clear. The right to be forgotten basically means that you want to delete all your digital footprints, data related to you, so that you want to live freely and independently without any past baggages. Let's come towards the next article. Gaza's Tel Amer, now a World Heritage Site. Why this matters, okay? So in the previous session, we had already studied that Tel Amer, it is a Gaza ka site. It has been put into World Heritage Site. Plus, a site from Assam, Charaidio. Even this is being put into World Heritage Site, okay? Charaidio, we had seen that they were the tombs of the Ahom dynasty located in Assam. Now, when we talk about this particular article, important one from GS1, heritage and culture, art and culture, and also GS2, taking into consideration international institutions. Okay. So, World Heritage Committee on Friday decided to include Palestinian site of Tel Amer in both UNESCO's World Heritage Site list and Lost of World Heritage in Danger. Now, this particular site, it is put into two categories. First, it is put into World Heritage Site list, and second, lost of World Heritage in Danger. Now, why they have put this site into this particular list? We all know the reason. The ongoing war which is happening in the Gaza area, Israel-Palestinian issue, and the war which is going on, and hence the site is under danger. And so this particular site is being put into this category, that is World Heritage in Danger. Okay. Now, when we talk about this particular site, so Tel Amer, it is also known as Monastery of Saint Hilarion. It lies in the Gaza Strip, which continues to be under Israel's assault. Okay, so this is the Gaza city, and here is the site. You can see in the south part, so this is a Gaza city. This is North Gaza, and here is the southern part of Gaza. So here it is located. Here, Tel Amer, Monastery of Saint Hilarion. So situated on the coastal dunes of Nusairat municipality, just 10 kilometers south of Gaza city, the ancient Christian monastery was founded in 4th century by Hilarion the Great. So it is considered that Hilarion the Great, he is the father of Palestinian monasticism. Okay. Now, this inclusion of this site is very much important because Israel is a part of World Heritage Convention of 1972, and Israel is only fighting in the Gaza Strip. So if Israel is a part of this convention and the fighting is going on in this area, so definitely even Israel has the onus to protect this site. Okay, so definitely Israel cannot overlook. Israel has to take measures in order to protect this site, which is currently in the area where the war is going on. Okay, so that is being mentioned over here. Now, for your information, currently India is hosting 46th World Heritage Committee meeting. Okay, so the current meeting is the 46th World Heritage Committee meeting, and for the first time, this meeting is being conducted at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Okay, logo of this meeting is inspired by the World Heritage Site of Hampi, and tagline of the logo is Sahanau Yashah. The meaning of this is may your glory grow. Now, please remember this tagline, it has been taken from Taittiriya Upanishad. Such questions oftenly come in the UPSC examination. So please remember, Sahanai, if there is a question, from where is this tagline? May our glory grow, or Sahanau Yashah has been taken. So your answer is Taittiriya Upanishad. The next article is related to social development. How educated mothers of young kids can be an asset for Nippon. Okay, so government policies and interventions. So what is the ongoing story? So in 2021, central government had launched Nippon framework. So Nippon is basically National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. Okay, so basically we all know that the Indian kids, they lack in basic performing basic numericals, they lack in reading and understanding the text. So as a result, to improve all these things, this Nippon framework was being launched by the central government in 2021. Now this framework includes training of the teachers with the a new set of skills, then upgradation of the classroom learning. Okay, all this has been done. Now, one thing which is being noticed that the kids in the age group of 4 and 8. So those kids who are in the age group of 4 and 8, if their mothers are educated, then definitely the performance of kids are better. Okay, so if you look at the kids who are in the age of 4 to 8, those who have educated mothers, at home. So these educated mothers are helping their children in learning, and as a result, their outcome is better. So hence it is being said that educated mothers of young kids can be an asset for Nippon. Okay. So as long as women education is being promoted in India, so if a woman is educated, definitely you can have a good uh, future generation. Okay. So women education is extremely important. If a woman is educated, she can ensure that her kids are educated. Plus, it also has a bearing on, it also reduces mortality rate. So child mortality, infant mortality, because an educated mother, she knows how to take the better care of her children. Plus, it is also being noticed that it improves the nutritional aspect of the family. Because if woman is educated, she knows what has to be given, what is healthy. So it improves the nutrition. So women education is extremely important, and educated mothers are rather an asset for the Nippon framework. Okay. However, it is being noticed that the younger women in India, they are not joining the labor force in comparison to the rest of the educated world. Okay. So it is being said that the female labor force participation labor force participation is less in India. Now, why it is less in India? So, educated women, they are not immediately joining the job. The reason could be some of them are now pursuing higher education. So, as a result, they don't want to do job as of now. Some of them are appearing for government examination due to awareness and all. And as a result, they do not want to do job as of now. So even though women are educated, it is being seen that the overall participation of women in the workforce is less. Okay. So that is being seen over here. So the labor force, the periodic labor force survey, it is mentioned that in India, only 37% is the labor force participation. Okay. And please remember, labor force participation is more in rural area in comparison to urban. So in rural area, women usually work in agriculture and all. So there the participation is more. Okay. But the gist of the article is that the women education is extremely important for the education of the kids. Okay, so that is being mentioned. Now, there was a preliminary question in 2022, a very important question. The question is, which of the following provisions of the Constitution does have bearing on education? Okay, so which of the following have the bearing on education? So, very first one, DPSP. Definitely, there is a DPSP article number 45, which talk about child care and child education below the age of 6 years. So that is a correct one. Okay. Then when we talk about rural and urban local bodies, yes, even they talk about education. So if you talk about Panchayati Raj institutions, so the education is 11th schedule deals with the Panchayati Raj, PRI. So in that there are around 29 subjects under PRI, and one of the subject is education. Then the 12th schedule deals with municipality. Here there are 18 subjects. So one of the subject is education. So both panchayat and urban and urban and rural local bodies deal with education. Okay. So even second is correct. So your 1 and 2 are correct. Fifth schedule. Now we know that fifth schedule deals with what? Fifth schedule deals with the scheduled areas. Okay. So here also it talks about the education of the scheduled tribes. Okay. Sixth schedule, it deals with the other scheduled areas in Assam, in Manipur, okay, in Tripura. So here also education is included. And seventh schedule, these are the lists, union lists, state lists, concurrent lists. So education is put in the concurrent list. So answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I've given the explanation. Article number 45 is DPSP. Then under Schedule 11, Panchayati Raj, you have education. Under Schedule 12, municipalities, you have education. Fifth schedule deals with the schedule areas. So here also it talks about education of the backward communities. Then sixth schedule, it talks about 4 states, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. ATMM, ATM square. So here also it talks about education. And as I mentioned, in the 7th schedule, there is a concurrent list and education is there in the concurrent list. So answer is all of the above. Coming towards the next article, desilting taking lion's share, focus on agriculture, government to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Okay. So important article from GS to GS3 perspective, government policies and intervention and issues related to planning, resources mobilization, that is GS3. Okay. Now, what is the ongoing story? So central government has sent an advisory to Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So what is this advisory? So basically we all know that ki MG Narega scheme is there. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme exists, correct? Now, under this scheme, what these two states are doing, they are giving jobs, and these jobs are basically not that productive. The job given is the job of renovation. So you are just doing some renovation and desilting. Now, what is the desilting? तो अगर ये river है, canals है, silt means what? Soil particles, gravel. Okay, तो ये सबको निकालना, that is called as desilting. हाँ, desilting is necessary. Why? अगर आप नहीं साफ करोगे तो what will happen? In the monsoon season, it will be flooded. Okay, but that does not mean कि आप पूरा काम वही करते रहो. There should be some productive work to be done. So that is being highlighted over here that कि Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they are spending all the, they are giving the job under Manarega on one thing, that is desilting. And majority of the Manarega payment, it's being spent on this desilting job only. So that cannot be done because you have to even focus on productive things. So that is being said that the advisory said that the state should focus on agriculture and other allied activities, enhance the diversity of workforce. Do not just focus on this particular one activity. So that is being mentioned over here. So when I talk about the Manarega scheme, so first thing you need to know that Manarega is applicable in the rural areas. And here the adult member who is ready to do work can go and talk to the Sarpanch. He will give you at least 100 days ka work. Minimum 100 days ka work will be given. Now there was a question in prelims. Among the following, who are eligible to benefit from MG Narega? Okay, so once again, I'll read the question. Among the following, who are eligible to benefit from MG Narega? Adult members of only scheduled caste and scheduled tribe? No. Only to nahi. Adult members of BPL, ऐसा कुछ mentioned नहीं है. Adult members of households of all backward, this is also not mentioned. Basically, what does Manrega mention? Any adult who is ready to do the work. So, adult member of any household. Okay, and this is applicable in rural areas. So, Manrega provides a legal guarantee for 100 days of employment in every financial year to adult members of any rural household who are willing to do unskilled manual work. Okay. Other important articles in news. So, Jammu and Kashmir lithium block auctioning has been done, but it has not received any positive response. Okay. So, India's lithium ambition hit a snag after Ministry of Mines cancelled the auction for the block in Jammu and Kashmir, Riyasi district. So we know that lithium is a very important rare element which is used in batteries, in electric vehicles. So primary survey was done that in Jammu and Kashmir, in Riyasi district, there are deposits of lithium. So auctioning was done that yes, come, those who want to do the exploration, you can come and do it. But then it is being said that hardly any investor is interested. And as a result, Mines Ministry has cancelled the auction. Okay, so it is said that he estimated 5.9 million tons of lithium is there, but hardly anyone is interested into it. Okay, then coming towards the next important thing, Manu Bhaker. She made a history by becoming the first Indian female shooter to win an Olympic medal. Okay, so up till now, if you look at the shooters, we had male shooters, but now female shooter, she has won the Olympic medal, and this indeed is a very proud thing for India. So that's it for 29th of July. Thank you.